How to learn Japanese grammar fast without studying rules or theory or anything like that. This is going to be the topic of today's video. Welcome to my 3-month Japanese challenge, in which I try to learn Japanese as fast as possible. Try to learn to understand and speak Japanese as fast as possible. And I show you the whole process. So today we're going to talk about grammar. There's been a lot of questions about grammar, and today I'm going to explain what the game plan is. First, a quick update on what I've been doing. I didn't post any videos yesterday. I've been doing a lot of learning, a lot of memorizing vocab with associations, and a lot of shadowing with sentences, yeah, listening and repeating. And the 2000 verb list, it's complete. There's audio, 2000 verbs with example sentences and translation and audio. So I'm halfway through the list. I'm not going as fast as I thought because I'm doing other things as well. But yeah, so I keep learning those. And now what I'm doing, and you probably, if you learn in Japanese, you'll find this very interesting. What I'm doing is expanding that list, and I'm taking each one of those verbs. So I take the first verb and I create around 30 sentences with it in every possible form. Yeah. So it's a pretty complicated and it's an also slow process. I'm having to do it manually because, well, I'm also learning while doing it, right? But it's the most trustworthy way. I don't really trust ChatGPT to do a good job with this, so I'm doing it manually. So it's going to be pretty slow. But the good news is that you can already start using it without. I mean, I might not even finish the whole list in the 3 months because if it's 2,000 verbs times 30 each verb, that's 60,000 sentences. And if I'm having to do it manually, it's going to be very slow. Um, but if you learn the list, the 2,000 verbs from the other list, that's good for knowing all the verbs, and then you can learn to conjugate a few hundred of them, and then that will be enough to learn to conjugate the others, even if you haven't done this with every single one of them. Although I will try to finish it, but we'll see. So, how does this work? Well, for each one of the verbs, we get, well, there's the English translation here. This is they call it the Romanji or something like that, Jumanji, I don't know. Whatever name it's got. The Roman alphabet, uh, yeah, phonetically written, basically. This is so that we can understand. We don't care about learning this for now. Or maybe ever. If you're not moving there or you don't want to learn to, if you're not taking exams or anything, who cares? This just there's just one reason why I'm doing this. It's here, so that I use this so that I can create audio files. Yeah, with this and audio files and the translation, you're good. You don't need to learn the characters if you want to understand spoken Japanese and speak it, right? So we have this. So I exercise every morning. I exercise. Why is it that twice? Well, once the normal form. This one is a polite form, and we'll have that in every single one of them. So we'll learn the polite form. We'll learn basically every form, every conjugation, everything. Grammar is quite complex. I don't find it particularly difficult because a lot of things are similar to my native language. I mean, not similar like in the languages are similar, but they have the same way of changing the endings, and there's the normal u and the formal u, and yeah. So it's not that difficult for me, but it is quite complex. There's a lot that changes. So we're going to. Well, I'm going to. Maybe you can do it with me if you're interested. Otherwise, good luck learning this. But the plan is simple. Um, for each verb, there's going to be loads of sentences, and absolutely everything is included. Yes, so from normal to polite. So 毎朝運動をする、毎朝運動をします、washimasu. you notice this is great for pattern recognition. By the way, you'll start noticing patterns. Yeah. First one is um, I think it called it plain. Yeah, but yeah, normal, and this is formal. Plain and formal. Let's call them. So okay, then negative, and then the nai, this endings. You start noticing the endings because after you've done it a few times, you start noticing, okay, the send thing is negative at formal. This is negative always, and you start noticing these patterns. Humans are great. Humans are much better at recognizing patterns um, than at being explained. Like if someone explains something to you and then you try to do it, you know, not going to be as good as if you see people do it and you see it. Let's call it in the wild, or yeah, basically learning by doing is better than being taught how to do it or being told how to do it. That's why grammar exercises are not very effective or explanations. Just you recognize the patterns, and once you've seen 10, 20, 30 sentences, similar sentences, plain and formal next to each other, you will remember what the ending is for formal, what the other one is. Yeah. And if you're really worried about making mistakes with this, you can also always download this as a CSV file, import it to Anki, and start memorizing with retrieval practice. Start practicing there. That's what I'm doing with the 2000 verbs, by the way. I'm halfway through memorizing them with associations, and now I've got the list on my phone, and I'm just reviewing flashcards as well as listening to the audio. Yeah, so memorize the vocab and then listen to it regularly and review with flashcards, and that's how I learned the 2000 verbs. But this long term is going to be better because there's a lot of stuff in Japanese grammar. It's kind of like, again, like I said, like I know I'm saying it a lot, but there are a lot of similarities with my own language in which they have these things at the end of words, after words, so like in the place or to the place, and you are the ending. To learn all of those really well, pattern recognition is the best thing. If you, by the way, if you notice there's nothing here, it's because the meaning is the same. Didn't I didn't see the point in copying it again. Um, yeah. So and then you also learn some vocab. You notice that there's less vocab here. This is not very vocab rich because I'm making it like this on purpose so that you don't have to worry that much about unknown words because the goal here is to learn sentence structures, right? So it's Monday, Monday. Monday is a problem, by the way. Easy to create an association. Monday problem. Um, yeah, this is yesterday. This is there is or there. No, there. And then this is at. This is book. And again, formal, plain, negative, negative, formal. You start recognizing the patterns the more you do this. So what I'm doing with this is the same. Just create audio files, 5 reps each, and then shadow. So これは本だ. Maybe I'm butchering it now. The pitch accent and some nerds just raging at the computer. But yeah, if you do it with the audio, normally I do it with the audio on, like 5 times this sentence, 5 times this sentence, or so on, and several thousand reps a day. I guarantee you're speaking will get good fast. Uh, you don't need to worry about accent rules and this and that. No, just try to focus not on reading but on imitating the what you're listening, and you're speaking really good just by doing that. So this is what I'm doing for grammar. This is the plan. I'll keep adding. This is available, by the way, in the. Oh, it will be shortly available. soon will be available if it's not yet, with the rest of the materials and audio for this. And there's not much yet because again I'm having to do it manually, but I'll keep adding more and more. Like you can see this everything. So this even if you're giving someone orders or if you're telling someone not to do something or conditionals. If I had done this, blah blah blah, all of that is included. So there's lots of stuff. A lot of it's stuff that in traditional grammar and classroom based stuff you don't see until the like third or fourth year of. Yeah, that's why that kind of learning sucks because oh no, that's B1 stuff. We don't. Who cares? If I want to be able to talk about what I did yesterday, I need to use the past. I don't want to wait till next year to be able to talk about what I did the weekend. No, learn everything, and then what's more important, you learn it faster because you use it more. If you just do this, you learn everything at the same time. This is good for comprehension, not great for your own speaking. But for that, we've got the language islands, right? Which I hope you're using because they do make a huge difference. Your speaking will get way better if you use language islands. So yeah, I'll keep adding more content to this every day. I'll add a couple of hundred more sentences and an audio for them, and just start shadowing them. Start. You don't really need to memorize vocab here. If you're memorizing from there, because this is not very vocab rich. It's just the same stuff over and over. It's the same vocabulary. Monday, Monday, Monday. Kino, kino, kino. It's just so. Yeah, maybe if you don't know how to say, like kino is cinema in German. So yesterday I went to the cinema. That's my I didn't. I don't go to the cinema. I'd like the cinema if I was alone in the cinema. I just don't like people in the cinema, to be honest. I've had a couple incidents because they were being noisy and I got pissed off. And I mean, long story. But yeah. So yeah, yesterday I went to the cinema. And that's my association for you know. But yeah, vocabulary. No need to memorize from here. Use the other list for that. There's way more vocab there. This is great for just lots and lots of shadowing. So listen and repeat with the audio files, and you learn all the conjugations and all the grammar relatively easily. If you do 10, 15 minutes a day of just listening and repeating sentences while paying attention to what the meaning is, obviously, you'll start learning. You'll just notice the patterns and you learn it. Or you could directly download it and just learn it with flashcards as well. It's also an option, right? So, yeah, progress. I'm happy with how things are going, making progress. I'll make a longer video speaking Japanese this week, at the end of the second week, so Thursday or Friday. Try to speak maybe a couple minutes, 5 minutes maybe. If I'm maybe not five yet, but yeah, a couple minutes. Um, and that's the plan for this week. Finish memorizing the. Yeah, I know I said I'd learn the whole 2000 verb list this weekend. I was a little bit too ambitious because I end up doing things like have dinner out and stuff and waking up late. So yeah, but plan for the rest of the week. Finish that list and learning it, and then a couple thousand more of these sentences, which are faster to learn because once you've been memorizing the others, uh, the vocab here is easy, and there's a lot of repetition here. And then continuing to do language islands for speaking, right? Loads of them, lots of shadowing, lots and lots and lots of saying everything aloud. You have to say things aloud, and when you're doing flashcards as well. I will make him exercise. Karen undo hasta hacer, or whatever it's pronounced. Um, you don't like. I think I know that one. Yeah, I know that one. And then no. You say it because if you don't say it, you're not practicing saying things in the language, right? And that's a game changer. If you're saying it, you're getting good at saying things. Either when you're shadowing, don't just listen. That's the problem with like the watching videos to learn languages and all that. No, you have to be. If it's a video in which they make you repeat hundreds of sentences, then great. If it's just watch this story and learn with English with stories, and you're not you improving your comprehension a little, but you're not doing much for your speaking. You need to be saying things all the time. Yeah. So get used to, and a lot of people just they don't listen. They don't listen to this advice because for some reason they just. I guess because it's effort. It's obviously speaking at home on your own is much more effort than just putting something. Oh, I'll just learn Spanish by watching Netflix. But you'll never be fluent with that nonsense. You'll improve your comprehension a little bit, but that's it. This is look at speaking a language like learning a language, like learning an instrument. If you want to play the guitar or something like that, you need to put in the hours. You need to practice, and it needs to be deliberate practice in which you're trying to make yourself sound better in the language. You do that on your own, right? Lots of shadowing. So listen to the audio files and speak alongside and try to sound as close as possible, and then translate from English into Japanese in this case, or whatever Spanish or whatever you're learning, and you do it aloud. You come up with a sentence, you say it, and then you get the feedback. Okay, go right, go wrong, but always aloud, right? Really important. It will trust me. If you do it in a few weeks, you'll notice. Oh, I'm able to say a lot of stuff now that I wasn't able to, and much. I don't have to think that much, and my pronunciations will be better. I don't sound like a gringo anymore. All of that, it's a matter of practice. You need to either move in with native speakers and spend all day trying to talk to them, or and this is more effective, simply because at some point, once you get good enough for them to understand you, native speakers, yeah, you stop improving that much, um, because you're good enough to communicate, right? So you don't improve as fast. Ideally, you'd have a combination of several hours a day of conversation and hanging out with native speakers, and then an hour or two of deliberate practice, so that you specifically work on things that you wouldn't work on when in conversation. The problem with learning only by conversation is that you use the same. You stay once you get good enough to speak a little. You stick to the few things you were able to say comfortably, and you just keep using those. And also, you don't get much correction because most people just they don't want to correct you. Like if they understand you, they won't be able. They won't unless you specifically tell them. And even then, because it's work and it's even teachers in class they often don't correct you because they can't be asked. They're going to be speaking wrong anyway. So a lot of them just don't feel like correcting you, and they paying to teach you the language. So imagine people in real life who are just hanging out with you. They don't correct you most of the time. So you have to do this, even if you spend time with native speakers. You will notice if they. I mean, you will notice them noticing if you do this regularly, and then you also hang out with native speakers. Let's say once a week or twice a week or even every day. They will tell you, "Hey, you dude, what are you doing? You're speaking so much better. You're making much fewer mistakes. Your pronunciation is way better because you're doing this deliberate practice, right?" You can't get good at football by only playing matches. You have to go train. You can't get good at music, at anything just by trying to like show up and try to play live. Like you have to practice. This is it's a skill, right? Anyway, enjoy the rest of the weekend and see you tomorrow.